The one rule of winning the game of chess, we know it all comes down to when the king on either side can no longer move. Once the king is trapped, the winning side declares checkmate and the game is over. There is a painting that once hung in the Louvre Museum in Paris, painted by Friedrich Moritz August Retzsch. Today the painting is popularly known as Checkmate. It is now in private hands, having been sold in a Christie's auction in 1999. The painting depicts two chess players. One is Satan, who appears arrogantly confident. The other player is a man who looks forlorn. If Satan wins, he wins the man's soul. According to legend, the story goes like this. A chess grandmaster came upon this intriguing painting in the Louvre Museum alongside other famous art, such as the Mona Lisa. The grandmaster stared a long time at the chessboard in the painting and finally noticed something surprising. The typical interpretation of the painting, that the devil had the man in checkmate, was incorrect. Though the devil seemed to be the obvious victor, he was in fact not winning. The man, who thought he was losing, was actually winning. According to the arrangement of the pieces left on the chessboard, his king had one more move. This fateful move would make him the winner of the game. The Grand Master called the curator and determined that the title Checkmate did not fit the scene because the forlorn-looking player actually had the ability to defeat his opponent, though he didn't realize it yet. His king had one more move. Now think about the spiritual implications of this painting, about what the Grand Master discovered. Repeatedly in Scripture, God assures his people that there is always a way of escaping situations that seem hopeless at the time. When the people of Judah were deported to Babylon because of their sinfulness, God revealed that a future day of release would come. Just as God provided water for the Israelites in the desert, he would also provide for them on their long trek homeward. A little boy in John 6 only had 2 fish and a few loaves of bread to feed thousands of people. It looked like checkmate, but our king had another move left. They collected 12 baskets of leftover food after the meal was served. In the Old Testament, Daniel was thrown into a den of hungry lions. It looked like checkmate, but our king had another move left and Daniel remained safe. In John 8, it looked like checkmate for a woman about to be killed by angry men with stones. But Jesus told the woman to go and not sin anymore. On Good Friday, the criminal next to Jesus on the cross thought it was the end, yet he still repented. So often in life, we consider the world to be a mess. With war, violence, a deadly pandemic, unemployment, struggling marriages, depression, isolation and more, we can easily become disillusioned. People begin to feel lost. We look for direction but often end up on the wrong path. It looks like checkmate, but we need not fear. The game is not over. God still has one move left. Our lives and future are in his hands. The one true king who will never be put in checkmate.
When we think we're walking alone, thinking the board is lost, but the prints in the sand weren't mine or yours. The king had one more move, and he carried us through the void.
This isn't a tall tale spun from the lips of a fantasy novelist, but a historical anecdote that took place in the heart of Richmond, Virginia. Have you ever heard about the time the legendary chess master Paul Morphy took on the devil himself? In the hospitable dwelling of a certain Mr. H, later revealed to be the Reverend R. Harrison, the Grandmaster found himself face to face with a copy of Retzsch's painting, The Chess Players. This painting, popular in its time, depicted a nail-biting match between the devil and a young man. As supper concluded, Morphy, intrigued, approached the painting. He studied it with a keen eye, his mind dissecting the intricate details of the game portrayed. Turning to his host, he voiced his thoughts with a touch of modesty. "I think that I can take the young man's game and win." Morphy's claim was met with skepticism, as one might expect. The retort came swiftly. Not even you, Mr. Morphy, can retrieve that game. Unfazed, Morphy suggested, suppose we place the men and try. As the chessboard was set, all eyes in the room were rooted on the unfolding spectacle. Imagine the collective gasp that echoed in the room when, against all expectations, Morphy snatched victory from the devil, saving the young man in the painting. Now, it's important to note that the original anecdote suggests that Morphy likely needed more than one move to secure the young man's salvation. However, the slight discrepancy can be overlooked as the story holds true to the essence of the event. When this captivating tale was first published in the Chronicle, Retzsch's painting and his various early engravings of the chess players were in vogue. This fact is validated by a response to the original anecdote in the later September 8, 1888 edition of the same publication. And so, the legend of Paul Morphy's encounter with the Retzsch painting was etched in the annals of history, a testament to the Grandmaster's unparalleled skill and wit. Thank you for listening. May peace be with you and God bless.